So I finally started learning Unreal Engine 5, and I was fully prepared for the coding to destroy me. What I was not prepared for was trying to build an FPS on one MacBook screen with no mouse, while also watching the course on that same screen. So far, Unreal Engine is not the scariest part. My setup is. It's very humbling to announce to the internet that you are building a multiplayer FPS and then realize you are going to build it with a trackpad. By the end of the course introduction, all these little problems gave me an idea for what I could build next. Not ridicule, I am not secretly starting the full game already. Something much smaller, connected to the hundreds of hours I spent trying to improve at Valorant, and hopefully useful enough to expose whether I understand the course or if I am just becoming very good at copying a man on the internet. To be clear, I have not built it yet. I only completed the introduction this week. Right now, this idea exists as a few notes and a level of confidence that may disappear as soon as I open blueprints. I will come back to it because at the beginning of the week, I could not even get the same beginner files as the instructor. Apparently, learning game development on a Mac means every tutorial comes with a secret second tutorial. The instructor says, download this file, put it here and open it. My computer says the file cannot be opened, the folder does not exist, and I probably should not be trusted with my own laptop. I ended up in the terminal changing permissions, moving through folders, and trying to understand why my screen looked nothing like the course. He uses a beginner content pack that I could not get working properly. I tried different things, downloaded it again, move it around, still no. And this is already something I need to learn. When to keep fixing one problem and when to stop giving it the entire day. Because I could very easily spend 6 hours trying to recover one missing chair from a beginner pack and then tell myself I worked on my game. Technically true, spiritually no. So I moved on and tried Unreal's own first-person content pack instead. That one worked. For the first time, I could press play, walk around, jump, and shoot inside a basic level, or almost. I did not build any of it, obviously, but I was still excited. Being inside a playable level made the project feel much more real, even if thousands of people have already run around that same default room. Of course, instead of behaving like a serious developer, I immediately tried to turn the obstacles into a little parkour course. It was giving Michael Scott yelling parkour, except somehow with less control. The sensitivity was so high, and I could either turn 2 centimeters every 5 minutes or suddenly stare directly at the sky. And every time I entered play mode, I had to fight to get my cursor back. On Windows, the shortcut is Shift F1. On my Mac, Shift F1 had other plans. The Unreal windows also kept opening separately, so I was constantly searching for the course, the editor, the terminal, and sometimes my dignity. Before I buy any game assets, I clearly need to buy a mouse. Maybe a second screen one day, but let's not become irresponsible. The strange thing is that the interface itself did not scare me that much. I have used editing and design software before, and Unreal has a similar feeling in some ways. There are panels, assets, settings, timelines, and many opportunities to close something important and spend 20 minutes trying to find it again. So visually, it feels complicated, but not completely foreign. Even blueprints looks less frightening than I expected. I have not actually done enough to say that confidently. So please remember that I said so far. This opinion may age very badly in the next video. Materials and textures are the part that already looks like it could become very deep. I thought a material was basically the color or texture you put on an object. Then the instructor opened the material graph and there were nods for colors, roughness, metallic values, normal maps, and coordinates. I can already see myself spending 4 hours making one wall react beautifully to light while the game still has no gameplay. That is exactly the type of activity I would enjoy, which means it is probably dangerous. But at that point, I thought the annoying part was behind me. Then I opened Fab. If you do not know Fab, it is a huge marketplace and library with environments, materials, animations, weapons, and even complete gameplay systems. I started looking through it and immediately thought, wait, I could just buy a really good FPS pack. Some of them already have weapons, movement, animations, and systems that would take me months or much longer to make myself. And I do think I will use packs eventually. I'm building this alone. It would make no sense to recreate every reload animation just so I can say I suffered personally for it. But getting the free content working showed me the limit. You can buy something that looks amazing, but you still need to know how to add it to the project, what it depends on, and what to do when it conflicts with something else. It is not really plug it in and now you have a game. It is more like plug it in and now you have a much more impressive problem. I do not need to become an expert in every part of Unreal before I use pre-made assets. That would take years. I just want to understand enough to use them intentionally. I need to know what I can change, what I should leave alone, and hopefully what I broke. And that created a different problem. How do I learn enough to make my own decisions without waiting until I finish all 210 lessons before I build anything for myself? Outside Unreal, it was also a strange week. It was my last weekend at the gym and I had a difficult argument with my brother. I am not going to explain the argument here. It is personal and I do not want to turn a family disagreement into content just because I have a camera now. But it affected me and pretending it did not would also feel fake. The timing felt strange because YouTube has finally started feeling fun. I have tried Twitch and YouTube in different ways for about 6 years, and for a long time I felt like I was forcing something that was not moving. These videos I actually want to continue. Then at the same time, things with my family became heavier. I recently saw Poki Iman talk about losing her grandfather. She said that when very good and very painful moments keep happening close together, you can start becoming afraid of the good ones. I caught myself doing that. YouTube is going well, so part of my brain starts waiting to see what will go wrong somewhere else. I know a video doing well did not create a family problem. I can be excited about YouTube, hurt by what happened with my brother, keep my boundary, and still love my family. I do not need to solve everything or have a perfect week before I am allowed to enjoy this and keep learning. Which brought me back to the gym and then to Aim Lab. When I was serious about trying to reach Immortal in Valorant, I spent a lot of time in Aim Lab and Kovacs. The exercises are painfully simple. A target appears, you click it, another appears, you miss it, get annoyed, and then do it again. It is not as exciting as playing a full match, but it isolates one skill. You repeat the same exercise tomorrow and see if you're improved. The gym works the same way. You do not become stronger because you watch someone explain the perfect exercise. At some point, you have to do the repetition yourself. And that became my idea for the next episode. I want to start building my own tiny aim trainer alongside the course. Again, I have not made any of this yet. This is the plan I ended up with after completing the introduction. But I think it is what I need from this course. I do not want to watch 210 lessons and realize at the end that I can only build something while the instructor is building it first. I need a small practice room where I can repeat what I learn without trying to build Graticule at the same time. The first version would be extremely basic. There is one room, a target appears, I shoot it, my score goes up, and another target appears somewhere else. After a certain amount of time, the session ends and I can restart. That is all. No multiplayer, no skins, no leaderboard, no battle pass. I have not even created a button yet, so monetization may need to wait. Then, whenever the course teaches me something useful, I could test it inside that project. If I learn how to spawn actors, I can spawn the targets. When I reach UI, I can add the score and timer. When I learn materials, maybe the target can change when I hit it. It would give each lesson a purpose and make it very obvious when I do not actually understand something. Graticule is still the game I want to build. This is just the practice room before I try to take on the full thing. So after completing the introduction, I definitely do not feel like a game developer yet, but I feel less scared of becoming one. My setup is making everything harder. Fab cannot magically give me a finished game, and the course will become much more difficult when I start building things myself. But now I have a loop and I want to try. Learn something in the course, try it alone in the aim trainer, probably break it and figure out why. In the next video, I'm finally starting the actual blueprint lessons. My first goal is very small. Make one target react without keeping the instructor's version open beside mine. We will see how long this confidence lasts. And I want to know how you learn best. Do you copy the course exercise exactly or build a separate project and apply what you learned there? Because right now my plan is a course, an aim trainer, I have not started yet, one MacBook screen, and a mouse that I still need to buy. It is not the most advanced development setup, but it is the one we have.